thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Loss is not loss when properly perceived. Pain is impossible. Pain is impossible. There is no grief with any cause at all. And suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. And suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. This is the truth. This is the truth. That suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. This is the truth that first to be but said, and then repeated many times, and next to be accepted as but partly true. Accepted as but partly true with many reservations. Then to be considered seriously more and more. And then to be considered seriously more and more. And finally accepted as the truth. And finally accepted as the truth. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. And I would go beyond these words today and past all reservations, and arrive at full acceptance of the truth in them. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Father, what you have given cannot hurt. So grief and pain must be impossible. Let me not fail to trust in you, today, accepting but the joyous as your gifts, accepting but the joyous as the truth. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Well, thank you all so much for joining me here on the banks of Lake Spiro in Spiro, Oklahoma, here for lesson 284, which is for Saturday, October the 11th of 2025. We're reading from the Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Loss is not loss when properly perceived. Reminds me when I got bit by a copperhead and I was in such pain and I fell asleep in the middle of the night, finally, after hours of just agonizing pain. And a medicine man, Native American medicine man, came to me in my dream and he said, "Will, you're looking at this whole thing in a way that's causing you more pain." He said, "First of all, think of it as sensation, not pain." And he said, and also recognize that nothing happens outside of what's good for you. So this is an experience, think of it as medicine instead of poison. Instead of venom, it's medicine. And he said, breathe into it. Inhale the sensation and exhale the sensation. Just let it come in, let it, and the pain all went away in my dream. I go, oh. And then I woke up from the dream and I kept trying it. And sure enough, I could breathe it out and just steady myself in the peace of God, and the pain was gone. I told somebody that was caring for me, my ex-wife, I said, oh, the pain wall went away. And so she took her thumb and just jammed it. Oh my, I about jumped out of I was laying on a couch at my friend John Winhousen's. Anyway, I said, well, the pain was gone before you did that. She's kind of a practical joker. Anyway, breathe through the pain. Anyway, loss is not loss when properly perceived. Pain is impossible. There is no grief with any cause at all, and suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. This is the truth. At first to be said, and then repeated many times, and next to be accepted as but partly true with many reservations, then to be considered seriously more and more, and finally accepted as the truth. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt, and I would go beyond these words today and past all reservations and arrive at full acceptance of the truth in them. I kind of mentioned a little bit yesterday, we could go as far as we can along the road to truth. And, you know, first we just tell ourselves over and over that this phrase, I like this phrase, suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. And the reason, and because it's a dream, we can elect to wake up and change our dream to a happy dream of forgiveness, of love, of everything happening to us out of divine order. Who knows? Maybe that venom had something that alleviated something that I didn't even know going on in me. Maybe I had, maybe I had cancer, a little cell, and it needed a little snake venom in order to get rid of it. I don't know, just speculating. But you might as well think about what might be a good thing instead of what might be a bad thing. And the prayer says, Father, what you have given cannot hurt, so grief and pain must be impossible. Let me not fail to trust in you today, accepting but the joyous as your gifts, accepting but the joyous as the truth. And then back a few pages to what is the Holy Spirit, our associated reading for today. The Holy Spirit mediates between illusions and the truth, since he must bridge the gap between reality and dreams. Perception leads to knowledge through the grace that God has given him to be his gift to everyone who turns to him for truth. Across the bridge that he provides, our dreams all carry to the truth, to be dispelled before the light of knowledge. There our sights and sounds forever laid aside. And where they were perceived before, forgiveness has made possible perception's tranquil end. The goal the Holy Spirit's teaching sets is just this end of dreams. For sights and sounds must be translated from the witnesses of fear to those of love. And when this is entirely accomplished, learning has achieved the only goal it has in truth. For learning as the Holy Spirit guides it to the outcome he perceives for it, becomes the means to go beyond itself, to be replaced by the eternal truth. If you but knew how much your Father yearns to have you recognize your sinlessness, you would not let his voice appeal in vain, nor turn away from his replacement for the fearful images and dreams you made. The Holy Spirit understands the means you made, by which you would attain what is forever unattainable. And if you offer them to him, he will employ the means you made for exile to restore your mind to where it truly is at home. From knowledge where he has been placed by God, the Holy Spirit calls to you to let forgiveness rest upon your dreams and be restored to sanity and peace of mind. Without forgiveness will your dreams remain to terrify you, and the memory of all your Father's love will not return to signify the end of dreams has come. Accept your Father's gift. It is a call from love to love that it be but itself. The Holy Spirit is his gift by which the quietness of heaven is restored to God's beloved Son. Would you refuse to take the function of completing God? when all he wills is that you be complete? Okay. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Well, let's do just that. Let's learn to change all thoughts that hurt. Give them over to the Holy Spirit and let him give you a miracle in place of them. A new way of perceiving, that where you see that joy is your ever-abiding state. You can return to that true state, out of the body state perhaps, but you can access it even in the body. So let's do just that. How does he say it? And I would go beyond these words today. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. And I would go beyond these words today and past all reservation and arrive at full acceptance of the truth in them. Father, what you have given cannot hurt, so grief and pain must be impossible. Let me not fail to trust in you today, accepting but the joyous as your gifts, accepting but the joyous as the truth. That's our true state, joy. Okay, and let's see, we're ready for, in our text reading, chapter 31, Roman numeral 3. And for you all that have the original edition, it's also called the Self-Accused in Roman numeral 3, which is in chapter 31, the final vision. Only the self-accused condemn. As you prepare to make a choice that will result in different outcomes, there is first one thing that must be overlearned. It must become a habit of response so typical of everything you do that it becomes your first response to all temptation and to every situation that occurs. Learn this and learn it well, for it is here delay of happiness is shortened by a span of time you cannot realize. And it is this: you never hate your brother for his sins, but only for your own. Okay, we never hate our brother for his sins, but only for our own. Now he's going to explain this. Learn this. Let's see. It must become a habit of response so typical of everything you do that it becomes your first response to all temptation and to every situation that occurs. Learn this and learn it well, for it is here delay of happiness is shortened by a span of time you cannot realize. You never hate your brother for his sins, but only for your own. Whatever form his sins appear to take, it but obscures the fact that you believe them to be yours, and therefore meriting a just, in quotes, attack. Paragraph 3. Why should his sins be sins if you did not believe they could not be forgiven in you? Why are they real in him if you did not believe that they are your reality? And why do you attack them everywhere except you hate yourself? Are you a sin? You answer yes whenever you attack. For by attack do you assert that you are guilty and must give as you deserve. And what can you deserve but what you are? If you did not believe that you deserved attack, it never would occur to you to give attack to anyone at all. Well, that's where we want to get to, isn't it? And what can you deserve but what you are? If you did not believe that you deserved attack, it never would occur to you to give attack to anyone at all. Why should you? What would be the gain to you? What could the outcome be that you would want? And how could murder bring you benefit? Sins are in bodies. This is paragraph 3. Sins are in bodies. They are not perceived in minds. They are not seen as purposes, but actions. Bodies act, and minds do not. And therefore must the body be at fault for what it does. It does not seem to be a passive thing, obeying your commands and doing nothing of itself at all. It does not seem to be a passive. It is not seen, It is not seen to be a passive thing, obeying your commands and doing nothing of itself at all. If you are sin, you are a body, for the mind acts not. The purpose must be in the body. Purpose must be in the body, not the mind. The body must act on its own and motivate itself. If you are sin, you lock the mind within the body, and you give its purpose to its prison house, which acts instead of it. A jailer does not follow orders, but enforces orders on the prisoner. 4. Yet is the body prisoner, and not the mind. The body thinks no thoughts. It has no power to learn, to pardon, nor enslave. It gives no orders that the mind need serve, nor sets conditions that it must obey. It holds in prison but the willing mind that would abide in it. It sickens at the bidding of the mind that would become its prisoner. It sickens, the body grows sick, at the bidding of the mind that would become the body's prisoner. And it grows old and dies because the mind is sick within itself. So the body grows old and dies because the mind is sick that is within the body. You want to escape death and old age? Tune in with the mind and realize its invulnerability. You know, there are masters that basically are eternal in bodily form. Babaji, my Kriya Yoga teacher, is many centuries old. Learning is all that causes change. And so the body, and it grows old and dies because the mind is sick within itself. Learning is all that causes change. And so the body, where no learning can occur, can never change unless the mind preferred the body change in its appearances to suit the purpose given by the mind. For mind can learn, and there is all change made. For mind can learn, and there is all change made. 5. The mind that thinks it is a sin has but one purpose, that the body be the source of sin, to keep it in the prison house it chose and guards and holds itself at bay, a sleeping prisoner to the snarling dogs of hate and evil, sickness and attack, of pain and age, of grief and suffering. Here are the thoughts of sacrifice preserved, for here guilt rules and orders that the world be like itself, a place where nothing can find mercy, nor survive the ravages of fear, except in murder and in death. For here are you made sin, and sin cannot abide the joyous and the free, for they are enemies which sin must kill. In death is sin preserved, and those who think that they are sin must die for what they think they are. Paragraph 6. Let us be glad that you will see what you believe, and that it has been given you to change what you believe. The body will but follow. Again on that. Let us be glad that you will see what you believe, and that it has been given you to change what you believe. The body will but follow. It can never lead you where you would not be. It does not guard your sleep, nor interfere with your awakening. Release your body from imprisonment, and you will see no one as prisoner to what you have escaped. You will not want to hold in guilt your chosen enemies. You will not want to hold in guilt your chosen enemies, nor keep in chains to the illusion of a changing love the ones you think are friends. Changeless love, but we can change from the opposite of love back to love. The only reality, the opposite of love, is actually an illusion, but you can believe in illusions and change from that belief to the belief in God being everywhere, always protecting you and caring for you and bringing you joy. Last paragraph, 7. The innocent release ingratitude for their release. The innocent release ingratitude for their release. And what they see upholds their freedom from imprisonment and death. Open your mind to change, and there will be no ancient penalty exacted from your brother or yourself. For God has said, there is no sacrifice that can be asked. There is no sacrifice that can be made. Wow. Only joy given to us without sacrifice. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Okay, let's see what's going on around the world today. It's the 6th day of the 8-day Feast of Booths, or Feast of Tabernacles, Sukkot for the Jews. It's Vrat, a day to celebrate Lord in honor of Lord Vishnu in the Hindu religion. Out of holidays and observances, I found I Love Yarn Day, International Day of the Girl Child, You Go Girl Day, It's My Party Day, Newspaper Carrier Day, Chess Day, Coming Out Day, Costume Swap Day, Curbs Day, Motorcycle Ride Day, Southern Food Heritage Day, Kids Bowl Free Day, World Migratory Bird Day. Hey, let me say something about Southern Food Heritage Day. If you were one of those people that was raised on a lot of real, a lot of fried foods, a lot of high calories, low nutrient foods like potatoes, but potatoes have a little nutrients, but not a lot compared to the calories. You might have to change from the way you were raised and move into Ram Dass said that, Richard Alpert's, he said that as you ascend, as you awaken, your diet, you'll notice it changing automatically. And particularly if you come into it with some consciousness, it'll change even quicker. You'll go, well, I'm not going to eat that. I know that scientifically that ain't really good. Isn't real good for my body. And just try to make those. I'm just trying to encourage you to look at your food and decide if it's really good for you. And even if it's good old home-cooked Southern style food, if it needs a little tweak, a little less oil, and a little more collards and greens, and less fried chitlins, well then go for it. All right, Kids Bowl Free Day, World Migratory Bird Day. I don't see any migratory birds. Can I move out of the way? Maybe there are some out there. Sometimes there's geese on this water. I don't see any today though. World Migratory Bird Day, Food Truck Day, Universal Music Day. I try to make these songs real simple and it keep the same rhythm and the same chord progression for all 10. Trying to make it where it's easy for you to do what I do, which is basically just play with my guitar and sing the songs and have a lot of fun and get that ideas deep in my mind, so when I go to meditate or when I live my life, they're there. So anyway, Universal Music Day, our chord progression for this, I think I mentioned the other day, but again, is D minor, F, C, G, and D minor, return, and then reloops. Let's see, International African Penguin Awareness Day. The African penguin genera is the Siniscus, and the Demarus is a real common species. I noticed there were at least 3 species of African penguins. And then our edible landscaping, we've got another herb. It's called the golden lemon thyme. It's a Thymus is the genera, Citrodurus auris variegatum. 3 different words in the species. So I'm not sure of all those details. Golden lemon thyme is pungently lemon scented, golden and variegated when in bright light, great in a hanging basket, and beautiful with rock walkways. Excellent garnish for sandwich and salads. space 1 foot circles, zones 4 through 10. And our word for peace today is from it's a pidgin language of the Mediterranean, a lingua franca language, like a trade language. And it's from the Sabir, S-A-B-I-R, Sabir, and it's Pache, Mediterranean trade language of Sabir. And it's Pache be with you, peace be with you. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Loss is not loss when properly perceived. Pain is impossible, there is no grief with any cause at all. And suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. This is the truth that first to be but said and then repeated many times, and next to be accepted as but partly true with many reservations, then to be considered seriously more and more, and finally accepted as the truth. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. And I would go beyond these words today and past all reservations, and arrive at full acceptance of the truth in them. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Father, what you have given cannot hurt. So grief and pain must be impossible. Let me not fail to trust in you today, accepting but the joyous as your gifts, accepting but the joyous as the truth. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. And there was something else yesterday that I'd meant to do, and I think we've got just about enough time, if I can get it out quick enough, to sing that little portion out of yesterday's text reading. So let's just see if we can close with that. And I got to get the wrong. Hopefully we'll have it here in just a minute. And it looks like we got some more music coming up in a stroll or someone walking. So we'll see if My True Identity Abides in You was yesterday's. And I was going to do, what does your brother ask you for? What does your brother ask you for? The answer that I give my brother is what I'm asking for. And what I learn of him is what I learn about myself. Anyway, and again on today's lesson is, as we close, I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Pache.